This is an engraved gray fox mandolin. It's a Northfield. I was playing it back in the, it wouldn't be the dressing room, but I'd hate to take anything off back there. Let's see, what could that be called? The waiting room, yes. And it doesn't have a strap, so that'll be my disclaimer here. But you know, most generally whenever I play the mandolin, it doesn't sound like anything because, you know, my mandolin's way too old. And they suggested that maybe we do a song here everybody would know, except me. But we're trying to play this through simply because this is such a good instrument that I think anybody would be proud to have it. And I would put in for a ticket for this, but then somebody think I cheated if I won. So I know better than to do that. 1, 2, 3. somebody's going to get this mandolin, you'll be able to play it a lot better than that.
I don't think so.
As long as I was switching instruments, I had another one back there. We'll get this over with for you too. It's like, well, I mentioned on one of the shows that we have one song that more people, just about the same number of people request us not to do it. And unlike that, every once in a while, in fact, every show, somebody always asks, would you play some old-time music? And I think they're setting us up. Because there's nobody actually likes old-time music. I mean, I love the Carter family songs, and I think Charlie Poole was a great musician. But other than fiddling John Carson, even I can't hardly stand that stuff. And the only reason I like fiddling John Carson is because nobody else in the band not only doesn't like him, I don't even know what's negative of that. What's on the scale lower than not liking something? Or so one time, I'm sorry I get stuck in. I just want you to know these fellas better. I feel it's really important because I'm always, first of all, they make me talk because I'm the least funny guy in the whole group. And these guys are really humorous. I wish you could see the show I get to see driving down the road. So one day I thought, I'll get this stuff shut up. I happen to have a 12 CD collection of the entire recordings of Fiddlin' John Carson. The best of them were taken from old scratchy records. The worst of them were taken off a wire, like the first thing that Thomas Edison ever invented that could take a recording. And I just love his singing. I wish I had one of those in my throat, because when he gets going, I saw an honest farmer, his back was bending low. You can't really do that without. So I told you that, tell you this. It is true that there's a very fine line between playing old-time music and not being able to play at all. But in its defense, old-time music's better than it sounds. You can tell this is old-time because it comes from the Carter family, and thanks for the person with good taste who asked for it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I don't think we play any songs any better than anybody else, but we can play them better than they sounded like when they had to do them, can't we? Square cities stand, its gems and walls of jasper shine on made by human hand. 100 miles of gates are wide at the entrance there, with 50 miles of railroad on either side to spare. Oh, when the gates swing wide on the other side, just beyond the sunset sea, there'll be room to spare and we enter there. Room for you and room for me. Oh, for the gates are wide on the other side. The fairest flowers bloom on the right hand, on the left hand. 50 miles of elbow room. And I'm crowded here and I long for elbow room. I strive to gain some altitude where the fairest flowers bloom. It won't be long until I'm passing through that city fair with 50 miles of elbow room on either side to spare. Oh, if the gates swing wide on the other side, beyond the sunset sea, there'll be room to spare as we enter there. Room for you and room for me. Oh, the gates are wide on the other side. The fairest flowers bloom on the right hand, on the left hand. 50 miles of elbow room. Thank you very much. I wasn't even going. This didn't even occur to me. I just decided to do it now. Maybe this will be the sermon. I had this banjo here, and I woke up mad this morning. And after saying that the very thing that I like most about the Great Fox Festival in a TV interview. And they tried to catch me on my hippie side. They were interviewing me and said, "Don't you think it's just filled with love?" And, you know, it probably is, but that's hard for a guy like me, you know. I'm 70 years old and spend a lot of time cowboying and making hay, and it's just hard for me to say, "Oh yes." It just makes me feel all warm and runny inside. But what I did say, and what I truly believe sums it up as best as somebody like me can do it, is there's no anger here. It's like, you go through your daily life anymore and there's just this anger sometimes, and it's just not here. At least if it is, I don't get to see it. And I realize that people, and I wish I could say you're welcome in more ways than I know how. But people are always saying, "Oh, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing this." Well, there's like 1,000 people almost that do this. And I feel like, you know, I'm humble enough, which is not very much, but to think, I wish I could get and thank all of them. And I know that you people do. And I told you that to tell you this. I can't. Maybe you can help me a little bit today, because I'm just really angry, and I'm going to share it with you. And maybe you can help me get over this. But I don't think it's any secret that especially since my son signed up for the service and was deployed to both theaters, that I've been kind of pro-military on the side of the men and women that actually go out and do the work. And so I was eating my one pancake this morning, and I had the headline next to me, and I knew I'd seen that. And you know, I've said many times, all seriousness aside, if ignorance really was bliss, I'd be the happiest person in the universe. But how could you get more ignorant? And I hate to take this out on a New Yorker. You folks might have to deal with this creature, this Donald Trump, who said in a long statement, and I read the whole thing, he elaborated on the fact that John McCain was not a hero. And that takes a type of ignorance that most of us can't share, because And he said the reason was because he got captured. But he kind of left out the important part. Like he stayed captured. He was an officer, and they were always, those of you old enough like me to remember the Vietnam War, remember, they sent our officers back. They were trying to get us to negotiate better because they sent our officers back, and John McCain stayed there and wouldn't go until his company, all the people there at the Hanoi Hilton could be released at the same time, which they ended up making almost 3.5 extra years in captivity. And anybody that's ever read about Hanoi Hilton knows that one of the luxuries there was to sit on that pile of broken bricks chained to it for sometimes as much as 24 hours. Now I've never actually sat on a broken brick, and consider that a great gift to my life by people who went there and did that and suffered that, and to have somebody that wants to be president of our nation come out and decry those people, prisoners of war. I don't know how you feel about it, but it just makes me mad. Because for myself, as a Christian and a person that believes in God, I know it's my duty to forgive him. and that's why there's a God and I'm not one. I truly would rather go to hell than forgive that. And so, as I've done so many times, I will do this song for you, for our troops, for the ones that still fight for us, for the ones that say goodbye to their family and friends and children, and have in every war. This nation has never fought a war when there haven't been countless prisoners of war. And to our credit, we have endured that so that this person that's had every blessing, including 6 deferments from the military, could talk like that about somebody that sat on those bricks. One morning as the office was open, a man called all in years stood by the express office, showing the signs of grief and tears. Now when the clerk approached him, the old man didn't say, well, I'm waiting for my boy, sir, he's coming home today. Well, you have made a silly mistake, and you must surely know that this is a telegraph officer and not a town depot. Oh, if your boys are coming home, the clerk did smile and say, you'll find him with the passengers, sir, at the station just over the way. You do not understand me, sir. The old man shook his head. Well, he's not a-coming as a passenger, but by express instead. He's a-coming home to mother. The old man softly said, he's coming home in a casket, sir. He's coming to us dead. The express train, someone cried, and the old man rose in a breathless haste to us outside. And then a long white casket lowered to the ground, showing signs of grief and pain to those those that gather round. Do not treat him harshly, boy. It contained our darling Jack. He went away, the boy's arms, ways he cut him back. He broke his poor old mother's heart. Her fears had all come true. She said it's a way he'd come back if he joined the boys in blue. A lot of them come back that way too.